Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Horizon Zero Dawn. I played it on the PS4 because that's what it's available on as an exclusive. So the story goes, you play as Aloy. It's not Alloy, even though I heard that a lot at the beginning it is Aloy, like a hard A. Aloy is an outcast to the Nora tribe. She is raised by Rost, who is also an outcast. But she can gain the approval of the tribe, as she was not outcast initially by the tribe, she was born an outcast. To do this, she must go through the proving, and that's where the game gets really interesting, because at the proving, the Nora come under attack. You don't really know who is attacking them right away, obviously, but since there were some visitors from Karja, it kind of comes to mind that maybe it was them. They used to be this really awful tribe. They were a much larger tribe, and their old king would go around and he would kidnap people from other tribes and sacrifice them. After you've completed the proving, that's when the game really begins. Nora is made what is called a seeker, and she is sent out to find A, the people who attacked, and B, what happened, why this happened. Right after becoming the seeker, things go horribly wrong, and the machines, which are the robot dinosaurs that were seen in the trailer, but they're not all dinosaurs, there's a bunch of different types. They become corrupted, but not all of them, and this corruption is affecting the land, it is affecting the robots, where they walk, just where they stay for an extended period of time. It's a bad thing. It's turning them aggressive. Ones that wouldn't normally be aggressive are becoming aggressive. So you as the Seeker are trying to find out what's going on with that, why your village was attacked, and that's where the game really gets going. Like I always say, I don't want to go any deeper than that because I don't want to go spoiler territory, but I've got to say I'm really enjoying the story. And if you can guess by that, no, I haven't completed the game yet because it's a massive game. So when it comes to the audio, the voiceover work is excellent. I mean, it's fantastic for pretty much all the characters. I think they do a good job. They have their own way of speaking, each of them. Not like a different language, they're just, some of them speak differently based on like their tribal attachments. But you've also got the sound effects for the game. It's amazing. The machines sound really cool. They each have their own unique sounds. And I mean, there's a bunch of different species, so they all have their own sounds. But then you have regular animals too, and they all have their own sounds. And then you have the sound of the nature. But not just the nature, the combat, just everything. The music. The audio was fantastic. Except for there were a couple of audio glitches. Nothing like sound fading out, but it was kind of weird, like sound would almost dip for a second and then shoot up really quickly, and that could be a little annoying. It clearly wasn't meant to be happening, but it was happening. Other than that small glitch, the audio is excellent in this game. Now when it comes to the gameplay mechanics and whatnot, it's an open world exploration, like third-person action stealth game. It's got RPG elements. You can get new weapons, new armor, you can upgrade the weapons and armor, and you can upgrade your skills and unlock new skills. It is a very stealth-heavy game, though. If you're not into that, that might be a problem, but you can go a little more balls out. You can find armor that will make that easier, but I found stealth generally the better option. One of the cool things, and as I mentioned in the story part, is the corruption. The corrupted animals are really interesting. Actually, the machines in general are very interesting to the gameplay. But the corruption is interesting because where they walk leaves like these corrupted booby traps that if you don't avoid it, can actually damage you, can leave you in a position where you're going to get spotted and just be in serious danger. There are ones you can override and use as mounts, or you can override watchers and have them like fight for you. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of talking in this game, and the conversations are actually really cool because you kind of get this little wheel near the bottom of the screen where you can guide the conversation, find out different information. It's not necessarily like a moral thing, but I like that you can choose where the conversation goes, find out what you want to know, leave the conversation when you want to. Now, while there isn't exactly a moral attachment to the discussions, you can at times make them based on like intellect, sincerity, or just being a hard ass. And you will get different responses based on how you respond to certain things in those situations. Now when it comes to like what you're actually doing in this game, there's obviously the main mission, but there's side missions, there's errands, there's challenges. There is a ton of stuff to do. There's collecting resources so that you can upgrade some of your gear. The game had so much to do that I really had to like stop myself from following side quests and just really focus on the main story for a while. Now, when it comes to controls, I feel like they worked very well, but there were a few buttons I didn't find super intuitive at first. But I got over that very quickly and was able to play the game very easily overall. I'm not going to entirely blame this on the controls, but I do say it's partly the controls. There were times where I was aiming and I thought I was dead on. I was using like the slow-mo vision thing, which is an ability you can unlock, and I would somehow miss my shot. Which, in the cases where the arrow hit somewhere near my opponent, it would trigger an alert status, not like full on they knew where I was, but it could be hazardous to my health. Or sometimes I thought I was aimed dead on, and I would say this is probably more of a graphical issue rather than a control issue, but it's somewhere in there. I would think my aim was dead on, I thought I had a clear shot, and somehow it'd bounce off of the cover right in front of me. So that was obviously a little annoying, but it wasn't like game destroying, because it's really not. It's not that big of a deal. It really wasn't that big of a deal considering I was firing from like hiding spots, which are more like tall grass than like behind actual cover. So I didn't run into that issue too often, but occasionally. Now, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, graphics generally are not the most important thing to me. I like good gameplay, good controls, and a good story. Those are generally the most important things to me, but I am going to sit here and say this is one of the most fucking beautiful games I have ever played. I've played enough games where just merchants and small characters who aren't super important, don't have nearly as much detail as like a main character. This game does not do that. This game puts so much detail into everything. Anyone you're gonna really speak to has more detail than they really need, because some of them may only be in there for like 5 minutes. You may only see them occasionally because they're attached to a side quest. The world itself is just stunning. The lighting effects from day to night, morning, like evening, is just, wow. It's a beautiful game. And it's really cool because you go from like a smaller tribe like the Nora, which uses like wooden huts and blah blah blah, to like the Karja's main home, Meridian, where everything's built out of stone and it looks like a much more advanced society. It's really amazing. So to wrap this up, obviously I enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed the story, but it's not just the story, it's everything together to create a really fantastic experience. Prior to Horizon Zero Dawn, I never really looked at Guerrilla Games as like that impressive of a studio. They put out the Killzone franchise, which was a perfectly okay shooter in my opinion, but this is on another level. So obviously, if you own a PS4, this is a game worth buying. If you've been on the fence about a PS4, go buy one so you can play this game. This is definitely up there with some of the best games I have played. I honestly think this might be one of the best games of the year. Okay, so in the comments below, why don't you tell me your favorite game with dinosaurs in it? And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing in general, share or subscribe. Have a good one.